Messi won the World Cup. Look at the world now.
You're gonna change your number plate and put CR7 on it. I know how you are.
Messi won that rig.
Look at the world now.
Look at the world now. It wasn't part of God's plan, that World Cup. I'm telling you.
Hey.
It was manufactured by humans.
Do you know that when Henry came back to Arsenal on his last legs, we need that at the World Cup for Neymar?
Nah, bro, that was actually so funny. Even when Henry scored that goal, from his celebration, I knew he was tired.
Hello and welcome to the Couchside Coaches. I'm your host for today, Karis, and alongside me are my assistant coaches, Kevin and Denzel. So, yeah, thanks for supporting us as always. Follow us on TikTok, all the other platforms, yada yada. Yeah, it's not been great recently with Arsenal. Let's talk about that Carabao Cup Final. Where do you want to go with this? In fact, I won't even make
Arsenal haven't won. Arsenal have not won the League Cup since the Gulf War began. 1993 is the last time we won the League Cup. My oldest sibling wasn't even born. Do you know how deep? My oldest sibling is older than me by 5 years, bro. She wasn't even born when you won it.
That's dark stuff.
Arsenal right now, on every major English domestic trophy, the Premier League title, the League Cup, and the FA Cup, Leicester have won all of them more recently than you. All of you guys are talking. They made all these. You see what? Do you know what I hate about Arsenal, Kevin? Yeah, they over promote and overhype everything. You see what that promotion they're doing? Like, we're standing as one. We're one team. We're gonna push together. All this for the Lucozade Cup, and then you did the same.
You've done the same for us. How many times?
2-0 by O'Reilly. Kepa's doing noodle arms. Can't even save the ball. Even if Chelsea finished 10th, that League Cup L meant the world to me, bro. It meant the world to me.
Because you lost us, but it's calm. You mean?
What's embarrassing is, banter aside, yeah, you look at performance. I don't know if any of you noticed, but the entire time Arsenal's backline had the ball, City didn't even press them. They just left them to pass it around, left, right, left, right, left, right. Because they know you're not going to do niche with the ball. Your only option was to try and launch it long and win the second ball, and you still failed at that. What happened, Karis? What went wrong?
All right, firstly, before we continue to talk about this, I said we're launching just on TikTok, but also Spotify, Apple Music, whatever you listen to. Anyways, out of the way. The most damning fact was that when Kepa was in goal, he booted it up long 21 times, and the forwards, Havertz and Gyökeres, won it only 3 out of 21 times in that entire match. 3 out of 21. Like, I'm not even a professional footballer, but I'm pretty sure that I would win a decent amount of these aerial duels. 6'5" me. Havertz is probably similar height to me. Gyökeres is just, I don't even want to talk about him. He wasn't even the worst performer as well. He wasn't the worst, but... And the thing is, City's tactic was, let's let Kepa play. I don't know who branded this guy as a ball-playing goalkeeper. I blame your club. When he first came to England, they were all saying he's sick on the ball, from Athletic Bilbao, he's Spanish, this and that. You all lied. This was a Ponzi scheme. Never buy Spanish players.
My question is, why did Kepa start?
That's my question as well.
Yeah, like, why did he start over Raya? Because I don't know if you saw, there's a clip that went around that was very well explained by, I think it was Carragher, explaining the fact that Arteta does not owe Kepa a damn thing. He came to Arsenal knowing he's the second choice goalkeeper, right? In City's case, Pep signed Trafford as the first choice and then later brought Donnarumma in. So there is a semblance of, do you know what? It's a cup final. I kind of owe this to you because I kind of fucked up the situation with bringing in another first choice keeper. If you want to get that trophy over the line, you play your best 11. Kepa is nowhere near your best 11. So I just don't understand the choice of starting him in a game as important as this.
I'm going to offer you two arguments quickly Well, first, I want to hear what you think, Kevin, about this whole thing. Then I'll offer my 2 arguments.
You lost the game from your lineup. Like, as bad as much as we hate Arsenal, you guys are clearly doing something right to the top of the league. Then when it comes to the final showing, you decide to spice it up. Like, stay in your lane. You're not that type of team that can rotate. And no matter who you put here, you're gonna bang. From when I saw the first couple of kicks, I know it was over, yeah. And the way he conceded that goal. sorry, I have to keep composure. Man tried to grab it, yeah, and it went through his hands. Professional goalkeeper went through his hands. And what's his name? O'Reilly was the one who even bagged it twice. Do you think O'Reilly could do that to my club?
He probably could, just give it some time.
I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. That's all I have to say, innit, for now. I'll warm up, but I just want to laugh at Arsenal. Let's laugh at Arsenal together.
I just want to laugh about some more stuff here, Kevin, yeah? There were tweets going around. There's an infamous account on Twitter. I won't just say his name because the guy just pisses me off. The guy's based in Lagos, bro, but he pretends like he's not. This guy said, yeah, bearing in mind, Saka's only 24, right? The guy tweeted Prime Saka would not allow this. Guys are talking about Prime Saka already, bro. So I'm seeing hundreds of tweets of, Saka looks finished. His legs aren't there anymore. Arteta's used him like a bar of soap. This is what happens when you play 90 games consecutively between the age of 21 and 23. And I can't lie, it doesn't look good for Saka right now. He just doesn't look like the same player. Fair enough, he had 2 injuries, but everyone from Arsenal fans to neutrals all said at the start of Saka's career, this guy needs to chill out. He's playing a lot of games. Saka clocked 23,000 minutes by the time he was 23, bro.
87 consecutive starts in the Premier League before he was left up the squad.
Do you know what that 87 starts is? Do you know how insane that number is? Not appearances, bro. 87 starts. Of course, he's not going to be the same player anymore. And for years and years, as much as we bantered Arsenal fans saying, you need a striker, the priority from day dot should have been a backup for Saka, in my opinion. That should have been signed way before that. Madueke has come into the picture way too late, in my opinion. The damage is done. If you want an optimal Saka back, the guy needs to basically sit on the bench for like a season at this point because his legs are finished, bro.
Okay, so do you know what I'm going to say? Firstly, about this whole Saka stuff, if there's anyone that's realistically going to come back like stronger, it will definitely be him because of some people have been tweeting so much nonsense saying like, oh, Saka in the big games can't do it. I'm like, did you not see last season against Bayern, against Real Madrid, against so many big teams he's always delivered? So that nonsense has to go out the window firstly. Then it's a case of from lockdown all the way until we're just laughing because of what's happened. But we'll get on to United soon. We'll get on to United soon. Those in glass high.
Mad at me? Did I beat your team? It wasn't me, bro.
See, with you, it's a City United. That's how you move.
Where was Saka at PSG versus PSG?
Versus PSG. He's the one that actually had us in the game.
But finish your point. I'll come back.
No. Okay, I'll finish 2 points because we were on to Kepa, so I'll get to that as well. But regardless, he's the one that's carried us from COVID all the way till now. So eventually, he was going to break down. But compared to other players, like let's say Foden, who was on the bench for that game anyways, and then flipping Cole Palmer, who's just linking up every rapper in the country. Gunner's going to come to London soon, so we'll see him link up with him.
I'll let you continue up, bro. If I see Cole Palmer at that Gunner concert, I'm not even going to say what I'm going to do to Stamford Bridge, bro. Continue.
But anyways, I went off track. Well, regarding Kepa, yeah, it's a strange one because of, when you won the FA Cup in 2020, Arteta was more ruthless in the fact that he took out Leno for Emi Martinez and was like, I'm not going to start Leno in this FA Cup final. I'm going to start Emi Martinez. And we won it. Now it's like, as he's matured as a manager, he's decided, no, I want to be a little bit emotional and bring in Kepa. Like, we know he's a keeper that can cost you from past experiences in Wembley. When has he ever gone to Wembley and played well? There's guys that have lived around Wembley, seen the Wembley arches that are probably better goalkeepers than him. You know them ones that have their little stories that I start from the bottom. I kicked ball in the cage. I could see the Wembley arch. There's bare keepers that are better than him. I promise you. But the thinking was more like, we want to stick with the guy that's gotten us all the way, which he hasn't. But we want to stick with him, and it's just the right thing to do. But then the right thing to do is to play one of the most informed goalkeepers in the world, who would not let that ball flap out of his hands like Indomie. But anyways, Kevin,
you thought you were a big club. That's just call it. You thought you were a big club. you thought no. You thought you reached that. You thought your year had got to a point, where you could just rotate and it's cash money. And you learn that's not how it goes. Like only certain clubs can do that. Remember United, where we could take off the hair and put on Romero. Not every club has that class. Do you get it? When I saw Kepa start, but I saw Trafford started for City, I was like, okay, it balances out. Trafford and Kepa are not mates. They are not mates.
Yeah, we know because they spent like 30 million for him anyway. So
yeah, but
did you see where Trafford played?
Keeper Kepa is
twice the keeper. Did you see that triple save he made against your star boy? From beginning to end, it was mind games. Like Pep.
Not beginning to end, because we started better, but second half they were the completely better side.
That's part of Pep's madness. Pep said make them enjoy the game small, let them think they're in it. It got to a certain point, I didn't see no style of play from Arsenal anymore. Do you get what I'm saying? And
it's true,
Kepa gets the blame because realistically those were ridiculous. Even his position for the second goal. Maybe I'm being harsh, but I think the second goal himself.
He dived away from the ball.
Do you get what I'm saying? But
yeah, second goal he was to blame for as well.
Because I'm a defender, I'm always harder on the attackers because I know the defense always gets all the slack, Where are the guys who are meant to win you the game? Where are the guys who are meant to win you the game? Now, we'll talk about Saka, 87 thing. Do I have to... Obviously, he's retired now. Do I have to talk to you about what Rooney was doing at the age of 16 as well? But he had the GA to back himself. I'm sorry, I'm not going to be soft on Saka. You're earning good money, and we all love you for it. But Saka, no, I'm so sorry. Where's the GA? Where was Gyökeres? Your striker, where was your striker?
I said my striker. Have I not made it clear the whole season?
At the end of the day, you, man, are always going to be the laughing stock, in my opinion, because of stuff like this. Why did you change your keeper? Why?
All right, let's kind of stop you here now, because it's now getting a bit too far saying we're the laughing stock. We're still in 3 competitions. You lost to Grimsby in this cup, so you cannot talk to me. You lost to us, so you can't talk to me either.
In the worst phase of United history, we have still won more
honestly, those are irrelevant points, bro.
In the worst phase of United history, we still won more trophies.
Mark it right now. I said that at this point, we are still going to win the Premier League. We're still in the FA Cup. We're still in the hunt for the Champions League. But most importantly,
no.
I said in the hunt. He's not even confident.
no.
Say you're going to win the treble.
Say you're going to win the treble. Say you're going to
yes.
No, I'm saying we're going to win
the FA Cup.
You saw what? You see that shenanigans Gyökeres just did in Wembley. Talk about Champions League.
Are you going to win the treble? Are you going to win the treble? Yes or no?
No, we'll win a double, so it's calm. I'm realistic now.
And what did Declan Rice do? All the arguments he gave me for the PFA Player of the Year. What did Declan Rice do?
Word. Where was he? Where was your player of the season, bro?
But Bruno didn't get that far. What did Bruno do against Grimsby? So
if Bruno was there, bam, we won the trophy.
I need to mediate this. We're not talking about Bruno. You, on the audio exclusive episode that we just released, check that out on Spotify, by the way. You said that Declan Rice should be player of the season, that he's even player of the year, all this chat. Now, this cup final's come and gone. All the tweets I'm seeing is Declan Rice is just Thomas Souček with social media presence. Declan Rice, all he gives you set pieces. Declan Rice doesn't offer anything on the ball. All he does is run around and look busy. What's happened? This is my thing with Arsenal fans. You guys are so you guys are so like reactionary and emotional in a way that's so annoying, because if you guys had won this game with that performance, none of you would have been honest to say Rice played badly or Saka.
Exactly.
I'm a very honest fan. Rice didn't play well.
Singing praises, whatever, saying, that was amazing. But now that they've lost, the truth is coming out. Look at it.
What do you mean the truth is coming out? One game doesn't define the season. So let's not... If you want
yes, it does.
No. One game does not define the season because we're
Yes,
in
it
three
does.
competitions. No, I'm not having that.
I will say this, yeah. I will say this. You've lost to City in a final, and at a point in the league where you've got 7 games remaining and you're 9 points ahead of City, and you're yet to play City. That doesn't bode well for confidence.
We've had 4 losses all season. City have been playing much worse than us across the entire season. So
the Premier League, fair enough, you get with that statement of one game doesn't define you, but 4 trophies around the Premier League, which is what your team is fighting for. One game, that's what matters. I'll rather play enough to win leading up to a final and play our best football at the final.
But all I'm going to say is that there's too much hypocrisy because episodes ago, you man was saying Carabao Cup doesn't matter like that. You know, you can sacrifice that. Now we're here on the stage. And correct me if I'm wrong.
Let me be very honest.
I'm laughing right now.
Let me be very honest, yeah.
Now you cover the Carabao Cup so much.
Let me say something, yeah. This is how it works in football. We as fans get to say Carabao Cup doesn't matter. For the players, every trophy you're eligible for matters. That's how it works.
I said that as well. So I always stick on my grind.
No. This is your season. This is your season to lose. And you already lost the first test.
And there's still 3 more, so it's fine.
We can say, look, there's 4 trophies that you can win in the season. We all know there's a hierarchy, right? Your big one is the Champions League and Premier League. FA Cup is then the next most important one. I don't agree with people downplaying the FA Cup. That is still a major trophy. The League Cup, it's a nice to have. But for the players, there's no nice to have. They want to win it. Wesley Fofana was crying when we got knocked out. People might be saying, "Oh, it's on the League Cup." The guy was crying because we got knocked out by Arsenal from the League Cup. For the players, that they want those trophies. That's how it works.
I agree.
We can.
And I've never downplayed that even once.
Yeah, that's
fair. But I feel like it's a case of people are so dishonest that it only takes one game for people to revise whole narratives, and that's what I don't like. Like, it takes one game for people to start saying they were never good, they've never done this, they've never done that. People are saying Saka was never world class. Rice
that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
Yeah,
Rice has never been in these team of the season talks, or player of the season talks. Rubbish. What else can I say? Like, the only player I guess that covered themselves in glory was Saliba. I think he played really, really well. 10 out of 10 performance for me.
But are you not at all worried?
I'm worried about how we played because of, for me, football is won by technique, it's not won by physicality. And that's one thing that I've always held ever since I started supporting Arsenal. And we built a team that is very physically dominant, which I rate because of under Wenger, especially in his last years, we just got bullied by everyone physically. You see De Bruyne, he's got technique, but he's physically imposing. Like, people underrate that about his game. You got your Yaya Toure, he's got technique, but he's imposing as well. His technique is above his physicality, I'd even say, but physically he can just body off the ball as well. So getting the guys that we did, we went to step in the right direction, but now we've overdone it, if that makes sense. So this summer we really need to focus on getting guys in midfield, get one guy in midfield to sort of change, let's say Zubimendi, for example, because since the second half of the season, I've not been happy with this guy. I can't lie. England made him look too good, put it that way. In that Euros final, they made him look like he was flipping Busquets and Xavi in one. Then
you have an issue with Zubimendi?
Yeah, right now I do.
What's the issue with him? Because I remember at the start of the season when he was scoring goals, a lot of Arsenal fans were happy with the signing.
I still think he's a good player, but this is not the first game. He often hides from the ball a bit too much, and it gets to a point where Rice is the one that has to do a lot of the groundwork. Like, he's the one that receives it first, and then once he receives it, then he's running into the box as well. That's why I prop Rice so much. He does a lot of stuff for the team. And I'm not saying Zubimendi does nothing, but I feel like for someone that is hyped up as the quintessential Spanish midfielder, regista, this and that, he hides a lot when the going gets tough. And I didn't expect to be saying that, but someone like, let's say, Adam Wharton, I don't think he would be doing that. I'm not saying he's perfect, but I'm saying that he'll show up for the ball. People are crashing on Eze, saying that, he's not playing well. It's because he's not getting the ball enough from these midfielders at times. So he's been a bit of an issue. And then who else can I say, really? Timber's just been a bit tired and been overplayed. He needs rests at times. Gyökeres, everyone knows my thoughts on Gyökeres. Our left wing needs to be sorted.
Hinkapi. Would you keep him?
Hinkapi has been fine, to be fair. Sorry?
After, from everything you've seen of Hinkapi from this season, would you keep him as a permanent signing?
Oh yeah, of course. He's been fantastic this season, to be fair. He's very solid defensively, and on the overlap, he's very good at, when it comes to doing his crossing and stuff. It's good to have a traditional fullback, not your classic inverting fullback, which Pep and Mikel have done too much to this game to have too many left backs and whatever's that our midfielders got. Speaking of them, one player that is really multifunctional, Nico O'Reilly. What do you lot think of him?
Honestly, he is in the most complimentary way possible. He reminds you of the utility that James Milner had. The fact that he can play left back and midfield and his level doesn't drop. That is a gem there. I can see why he's been called up to the England team. It's so fun because even though he's a left back, his box presence and his off the ball movement reminds me of someone who probably started their career as a winger, because he knows where to position himself. Those 2 goals that he scored, it wasn't accidental. It wasn't luck. Even though Kepa fumbled that, he was in the right place to capitalize on that. Yeah. And then even the second goal as well, amazing positioning, makes the run off the shoulder and then just heads it home. So amazing player. I think he's going to have a great career at City, and he deserves his call up to the England squad as well.
What about you, Kevin? What do you think of him?
Riley, I like Riley. I think he's actually a really good player. I like Denzel said, someone who's competent both ends of the pitch. It just shows the levels to this game. And at the end of the day, when I saw both goals, I was like, he's playing above his years, because I love a goal where it's positioning is everything, because it means that while everyone's watching the ball, you're anticipating the next step after the fact. You know what I mean? And everyone's focusing on the mistake, but obviously we've got that not enough people give credit to the fact that you have to be in those positions. And if we really want to address it, your centre-back pairing is world class, but he was able to get space to score in your box. Do you get what I'm saying? And even being the winner for the second goal, the header was beautiful. Like I said, I think he deserved the England call up as well, to be honest. So Tuchel's right in that regard. You know what I'm saying? I think
you look at a player like O'Reilly, he's kind of the, in Pokemon, you have evolution.
Yeah.
O'Reilly is the final evolution of Pep's prototypical fullback.
Yeah.
The fact that he can invert, but he doesn't lose anything from his game inverting. With players like Nunez, Pep only pushed him to right back because Pep said he doesn't have the intelligence to be a midfielder. O'Reilly is a separate case. When he starts as a left back, he has the pitch awareness and technical ability to actually play as a midfielder, and then also has the defensive acumen to actually be a stable left back as well. I feel that's something that has been drilled into those kids in the City Academy there, where you now have this player, Nico O'Reilly, who perfectly executes Pep's vision of what a modern fullback should be doing.
Yeah, and even in the City Academy, if I'm not incorrect, he started as an attacking midfielder as well. So he can play attacking midfield, he can play left centre mid, play at left back. That's just such intelligence. And it kind of reminds me, obviously he's a lot older, but a lot of the Arsenal players talk about Mikel Merino being a future manager because of he's so intelligent wherever you put him. Everybody was shocked when he played that striker and he was moving like he's been playing that striker for years. And then you put him there, he does the job. You put him in attacking midfield, he does the job. You put him in, he even played DM in some FA Cup games. He did the job as well. So we miss Merino hugely, which I didn't expect to be saying that, but we have missed him quite a bit. Because he wouldn't be playing some of the games that our strikers playing, but we move, alas.
How did you feel about Man City strike force? Because I don't think they played that well, to be honest.
I want to ask you about them Cherki kick-ups, bro.
That's the real question.
You know what? It's hilarious. Before I let you guys answer, on the audio exclusive episode, we're talking about how those English pundits on the overlap were complaining, saying, "Oh, Neymar's just a YouTube player, or whatever." And then this happens, and you can see all these idiots coming up talking about, it's disrespectful, he's showboating, it takes away from the game. People complain that football has become robotic, and then a player shows a bit of personality, a bit of flair, and everyone's criticizing him for it. I don't understand that. It's just kick-ups. You're 2-0 up.
I'm not having it. Wait. That's the YouTube player. The one that isn't a YouTube player is Neymar, and I'll tell you why. Guys like Neymar, Ronaldinho, Thierry Henry, they will do a skill, let's say like a nutmeg or double nutmeg or whatever, or some rainbow flick, and they'll get past their man. Cherki got the ball from, I don't know, from wherever. He had nobody around him. He decided, let me just do a jolly up and do some kick-ups there. And where did it go to? That is
I hear what you're saying, you know, because piggybacking off that, yeah, you see Cherki talks too much. Because when he signed for City, it was after we knocked them out of Europa League, innit? So Cherki said, first Manchester derby, he's gonna verbatim kill us. Did you not slap him in Old Trafford? Cherki talks too much. I agree with you, Karis. I agree with you on that one. My man
do you know
talks
what
too
I will
much.
say? Do you know what I will say before we go to you, Denzel, as well? Like, I've seen examples where Cherki has showboated, but in a sense that it leads to something, or you can see, okay, there's a reason you did that. So I think it was Sunderland, if I've got it correct. I don't know. But he went to the byline and he must have just done a Rabona cross and maybe landed a target. So I was like, okay, I see why you've done that. Like, no one can do it like you. You've got that skill. Fair enough, man. But that was like, he's received it on the sideline, doesn't bother to drive it forward. He's like, okay, I'm going to do some kick-ups because I want to take the piss. That's what he's done.
But what about Haaland, though?
Haaland, hey.
He ain't scored in a couple finals, you know. And I don't think
for my FPL, man. That guy is taking the piss, bro.
I don't think he's gonna have trophies, but what do you guys think about that? If you're not known for scoring in finals, what that mean for your legacy? Like, you're still a good striker, right?
Ask Paris, because you can ask the same question. Thierry Henry didn't score in the final.
You rap Red Boy, he scored 7 goals a season. Don't talk to me.
Ask Karis, bro. Ask him about that question.
Red Boy has never scored more in the season than Chris Woods. Don't talk to me.
Ask him, bro.
No, ask him.
But you want a striker that scores in finals, though.
No, but Thierry Henry, in any cup run, he's always giving you something to get there. So I don't care personally.
No, but what about the final?
Listen, you hear something to get there. My God, Drogba scored in every final he played in, bro. That's what I'm saying.
But Goat was getting the numbers that Nico O'Reilly gets in the season. So I'm not listening to you.
But every final he scored, bro. Drogba can say all of his medals. He can say, "I earned that."
But speak about Drogba now. You can use it now. You can use Drogba now.
We need him now, bro.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, we'll talk later about why I need to use Drogba. But anyways, regardless, it's not just about finals. Just in general, Haaland has been struggling against. When he comes against a physical centre back, I don't know what's going on recently. Like, in maybe like at the start of the season, he tends to like really, really go on strong, and then when it gets to the end of the season, he just dips. And I don't understand it right now.
He's a KDB size hole.
Maybe yeah, that's a great point as well, man. I just don't, like Kevin mentioned, now that a player like De Bruyne is gone, who's really feeding him those balls? Who's making those
shots?
If you look in the Premier League right now, as much as he's been lambasted and cussed by everybody, the most chances created in the league is by Florian Wirtz, which is shocking. I don't think there's any City players in the top 5 for most chances created. Guys like Jeremy Doku fell off, doesn't start anymore. Phil Foden is Phil Foden. Don't even need to go into that. That guy can't even sniff the starting lineup. So the question is, who is feeding Haaland? And I think the system has changed away from when KDB was there. Pep knew that, cool, we've got this guy who can feed that monster we have up top. Whether it was through balls, in the air, whatever, there was someone that was constantly feeding Haaland. I think Pep knew in signing players like Semenyo and Cherki, the goals have to now come from the rest of the team as well, because you don't have that KDB anymore that's always going to have the perfect pass for Haaland. So that goal load is now distributed across the team now, whereas before Haaland was like the focal point of the attack.
I'm going to add as well, I think we also have to remember is Haaland now needs, this is the biggest test of his career. He's got to have to adapt his game now, because of, if we see the stats, like month on month now, every Premier League team is playing deeper lines in terms of like, you know, packing their box, in terms of like, everybody's getting more competitive. So they want to make sure that they're not caught on a counter or they're able to run back and have numbers. So Haaland's not going to have those Bundesliga high lines that he was getting early in the season. Now it's like everybody's ready for you. Like he had that one chance in the final where Saliba like cut it out, but Haaland doesn't have those chances as regularly anymore. So he just needs to adapt his game and we'll see what happens. But he's a great striker. I think we'll figure it out.
Of course. I think like you said about him adapting his game, what separates him from who, in my opinion, is still the world's best striker is Harry Kane. Kane knows, okay, cool. Sometimes, let's say he's playing against a deep block, he's going to drop into midfield and link up play and make those chances. Haaland doesn't do that. Haaland is an amazing goal scorer and an amazing finisher. He's arguably the best finisher in world football. But that aspect of his game that he doesn't have is what separates him from Kane, in my opinion. Kane drops deep and picks the ball up and creates his own chances. Haaland just doesn't do that. So if he doesn't have someone that's feeding him those through balls where he can run off the shoulder, he gets nullified. And then we end up having these conversations.
Yeah, and this is a nice segue. Speaking of strikers that can drop deep, cause havoc, we need to talk about Mr. Samuel Beto, as I like to call him.
You're smiling already.
Hey, shout out Beto, bro. He had it tough at Everton. When he first joined, they were cussing this guy, saying waste of money, or what the hell, we're going down. And now he's got a brace at the Hill Dickinson Stadium against Chelsea. Listen.
Why are you wearing a Chelsea shirt today? That's what I'm wondering.
Because the microphone's got a nice little lapel there in it. But this is my thing, yeah. My stance remains unchanged. In order for Chelsea to achieve salvation, the club needs to go through maximum pain.
Did you watch the game though?
I watched some of it, and when it got to 2-0, I said I'm enjoying my Saturday, and I turned it off.
Smart.
I don't need to ruin my day. Before the game even started, I said it'll be 2-0 by halftime, and I was only off by like 1 goal. I said, you know what? I've seen enough. I don't need to upset myself because insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. I said, I don't need to do this today. But from what little I watched and the things I've seen, the highlights and what I've read, who's shocked? Nobody. All this, I don't even want to. It's just a shame that it falls on Rafinha's head because he's just a figurehead of the overall incompetence of our leadership. But it shouldn't even be him. This is genuinely, it's a tragedy we're watching, bro. This is a young black manager whose career is ruined before it even took off, bro. Nah, it is. We're laughing, but this is a blight on his CV, and he hasn't even started his life, bro. He hasn't started his life in management yet. All he's had on his CV is Strasbourg, Hull, and Derby. And now we've come to bury him at Chelsea. It looks
Derby
bad.
as Wayne Rooney's assistant, mind you.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's unfair. And I think the ownership should have done better to choose Rafinha because it's not fair. Like, black managers hardly get opportunities at this level. Thank God, to counterbalance the system right now, we have Company doing a great job at Bayern Munich. Shout out him. But
to counterbalance Chelsea as well, you have John Terry being racist, but that's another story.
I don't care about that, man. Rafinha is just a victim of the leadership, and also, if he had any sense, he would have politely declined that offer. But this is the problem that we have in life. Sometimes we try and reach for an opportunity knowing we're not ready deep down, because you can't tell me Rafinha didn't look at that situation at Chelsea and think, what the fuck's going on over there? But Egbali called him and said, yo, do you want to leave Strasbourg and join the big boy club in the Blue Coat project? And he opened his stupid mouth to say, yeah. And now look.
I would have said yeah.
Sanchez has regressed. Of course, the money.
Yeah, he would say yes.
A 6-year contract. Of course, it's a 6-year contract, bro. That's a guaranteed minimum 30 mil payout, bro.
Jesus.
Now, everyone's making fun of us saying, oh, yeah, Sanchez has gone back to factory settings. I blame Rafinha. Everybody has regressed under Rafinha. Cole Palmer doesn't know how to kick a football anymore. Rafinha doesn't know how to say, Sanchez doesn't know how to save anything. Neto is still Neto. I'm going to get onto him separately because that guy's a disease. But all I want to say is Rafinha is out of his depth, and it's just unfortunate that it had to be him. But I'm happy it's happening because I need the club to fail spectacularly in order for something to change. You see how Arsenal fans got onto the Cronkies to force this change. You see how they were protesting, saying, Cronky out, this and this were upset. As much as Arsenal fan TV was a disease to Arsenal fan club, it was a necessary evil. It highlighted things to the ownership to say, do you know what? There's unrest going on. The Chelsea Ultras are linking up with the Strasbourg Ultras in April. And do you know what? I might join them. I might join them to protest. Because I need Egbali to hear me when I say, bro, if you came to Peckham, you wouldn't leave. We will lock you in Costa until you figure out what's going on in this club, bro. Because this is a shambles.
When he comes to Selhurst Park,
honestly, they're treating us like we're Wrexham. They're trying to do career mode and start afresh. This is a club that has been here for over 100 years, laden with trophies. And now you're doing, we'll sign this young player over there. We'll try and make a profit. I don't give a toss about your profit. I don't. And then we're letting guys like Beto, all no disrespect to Beto, but he's Beto, innit? He got.
Did you see that finish?
He almost got
the nicest dick. Even curves, bro.
I said, right, you're doing that to my Sanchez. Sanchez went home in tears, bro. He stood in the mirror crying, saying it's happening again.
And then Njai went Bauer into the top corner.
It's just this is another thing that pisses me off. Yeah. I don't know how much in Chelsea's games.
That curve was special.
Even when Maresca was there, Pedro Neto does not pass to Cole Palmer. He hates passing to Palmer. Palmer even got pissed off and was shouting at him on the pitch saying, "Why didn't you pass?" He just doesn't pass to Palmer. The guy dribbles too much, and whenever Palmer's clearly open on his left, he blanks him. Then this guy had the nerve to shout at Esteval for not passing to him. I want Neto gone in summer. I need him gone, bro. I don't want to see him anywhere near Chelsea anymore. This guy, his future is in 100 meters. That's all he's good for. Running in straight lines. This guy is not a footballer. He doesn't have any football IQ whatsoever. All he does is run and just put a speculative ball into the box. No end product. The guy stinks. I need him gone. Gone.
Do you miss Madueke?
No. Madueke is a good player. I don't miss him because we had similar problems with Madueke where he will dribble himself into a wall and then have Madueke is great at everywhere up until the final third.
He's Walcott basically. Walcott rejoin.
Even Karras will tell you because he can see.
I relax.
His final third decision making is horrible. When he needs to shoot, he doesn't. And when he does shoot, he chooses a horrible shot selection. And then when he passes, he's trying to beat the guy that he just beat 2 seconds ago. Like, why are you trying to beat the same player again? So no, I don't miss Madueke. But you see Garnacho, Kevin, God will punish you, bro. Because Garnacho has no business at my club.
I told you. No. I rebuke what you said. I warned this guy. I said,
he didn't warn for time.
I warned you. I said Garnacho is not what you think. He's not what you think. Like I even said at best, the first couple months you may get like a hungry Garnacho, and with a hungry Garnacho can give you some GA. He wasn't even hungry. He just came. Just a left wing partnership of Neto and Garnacho is actually scary. I'm sorry.
I got so gassed after Garnacho got a hat trick of assists. And I think it was like one of the cup games or something. I can't remember which game it was. He got 3 assists. And then like a couple weeks later, I even got a goal. I said, "Raw, Kevin, walk on, bro. This guy is crazy."
And I still stood firm.
And Kevin told me, "It's a mirage. It's not real. Don't worry, you'll see the real Garnacho." I said, "Nah, you're hating, bro. 45 million is a steal. He's doing his thing." It's not even been 6 months, and I'm ready to ship this guy to Sporting, bro. You love Ronaldo so much, follow his footsteps, go and join Sporting. Because I'm sick of it. How come my club only have max 2 good wingers?
Who's the good wingers?
Esteval, the only Esteval, Esteval came on and took on more players in 3 minutes than Neto did the entire game. He's the only player. The things that I saw were embarrassing. When we conceded that third goal, Esteval's the only person that went to go and pick up the ball. Everybody else was standing there, hands on their hips, looking down. The mentality from top to bottom, from the ownership to the players, it's a mess.
Agreed.
We're 3-0 down, and no one's even saying, guys, like, it's 3-0, who cares? Let's play on. There's no leaders there. As much as Enzo likes to do the shouting and passion thing and the homoerotic thing with Reece James, when the going gets tough, there's no one else that does what he does on the pitch. Like, Lavia's not even fit. So I'm not even going to get onto him. Lavia's played five games in like 3 years, bro. The guy's legs don't work. He can go in summer as well. Lavia can go in summer. We paid, was it 60 million to Southampton?
No, less. Like I think it's
for a guy that I think it's 45 million, yeah. For a guy that's played 30 games in 3 years, 10 games a year, 45 mil.
No, what I was gonna say as well, I think the thing that sums up Chelsea right now was you man must have seen when you're watching the game. They did a sub near the 80th minute, and it was Tosin and the lap coming on, and Tosin was giving instructions. I was like, bro, this is what Chelsea have become. And does Tosin have like some sort of clause in his contract to play games? He must do, surely.
I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be surprised because every single thing at Chelsea right now is a joke. The fact that Tosin is even at my club, that's a joke in and of itself. This guy is nowhere near the level needed for Chelsea to be what it needs to be. I was even seeing something recently today, apparently. I don't know how true it is. But it was something about how Bayern Munich's strategy going forward is going to be about signing elite players in core positions and filling the rest of the squad with their academy. Chelsea could have done this, but I say had because I don't even think we have the right to say that we still have the best academy in England anymore. But for the last decade, Chelsea has had the best academy in England. We were probably the only team in Champions League history, someone can tell me if I'm wrong or not, that's won the Champions League, and like 7 of the players in the starting team were from the academy.
You know, we've got one of your academy scouts right now. The guy that found Tammy Abraham, Mason Mount, a few others. We recently got him to Arsenal, so you lot have just lost your way.
Yeah, because guys like Neil Bath has gone. All the guys that were at the core of the fabric of the club and made it what it is. Mike Amenalo is gone. As much as Marina Granovskaya, people cast her saying, "Oh yeah, she splashed 500 M's on guys like Zappacosta and Giroud." Bro, she knew how to build winning teams at the end of the day. Because in her tenure, she can say, "I walked away with 21 trophies." It's that simple. Yes, she wasted money along the way, but for every stinker she had, she'll make it up in the summer by saying, "Do you know what? I'm going to get you a winner." Every time we stunk it up, she'll say, "Do you know what? I'll get you a winner." But that's a separate issue altogether. My thing right now is nothing's going to change at Chelsea until maximum damage is done. I need us to miss out on Champions League. I don't want Chelsea to finish in top 4. Because if Chelsea finishes in top 4, then the owners will look at everything that's happened and say, "Well, we were right at the end." And nothing will change. So Chelsea needs to finish somewhere like 6th. 6th will be good. That will humble them and make them realize, maybe we overshot the mark by sacking a manager who was doing well and his only crime was asking for a competent centre-back. That's all Maresca asked for, and they said, "You're asking for too much. You need to walk."
Yeah, I'm going to say, and again, it's kind of links to our next segment. I feel like right now there's no club that wants to get top 4, which is crazy as it sounds. Even though we've got 5 places because of Europe, obviously, like as in Champions League places, 5 Champions League ones. It's like everyone's just like, which clown is going to finish in the top 5? It's so strange. Like, if I find the table right now as it stands,
yeah, I was going to say that as well. That right now, 4th and 10th, they're only separated by 11 points. Then 5th, then
go on.
5th place being Liverpool and 10th place being Brighton. Between them, there's only 6 points. So between 10th and 6th, there's only 6 points. And then it's just a free-for-all. Like, it's a mess.
I see where Cash is coming from. yeah, but I don't think I agree with you because the monetary gain from being in the Champions League is way too much for people not to be in it. I just think we just got to call a spade a spade. The top 6 is a myth now. I don't think the big 6 is what it was because there is no such thing as 3 points, 3 points, 3 points. Every game is a battle. Unless it's Tottenham. Every single game.
We'll talk about them later too.
Do you get it? You can hold smoke in Brighton. You can hold smoke in Chelsea. You can hold smoke in Arsenal. You can hold smoke in Leeds. Like there is no such thing as the big 6. So I think we're just starting to realize that the money, for example, I don't know if you saw that statistic. The money that a Bournemouth, or I don't think it was Bournemouth they use, but the money that a mid-table Premier League club can move around is more than a top 5 contender in Spain.
Yeah, it was Bournemouth. I've seen it.
Do you know what I'm saying? And let's call a spade a spade. These smaller teams know they can't pull the big names, so they have better scouting. So we're kind of in a position where we're throwing our money around, they're throwing their brain around, and it kind of now reducing the distance. Do you know what I'm saying?
That's a good way to put it. No, it's true because it's
like what you said is go on, Karis.
Yeah, because it's like years ago, let's say if we're going 10 years back, you'd never have this sort of scouting that the lower teams can go and find some gem like that apart from the rare occasion. Whereas right now, let's look at Bournemouth last season. 3 of their back 4, Milos Kerkez goes to Liverpool, Dean Huijsen goes to Real Madrid, Ilya Zabani goes to PSG. It just shows you that a team like Bournemouth can get 3 Champions League level players in their back 4. Like, it's just crazy.
Even what you guys said, the rate it's happening at is disproportionate to literally every other league in Europe.
Exactly.
It's ridiculous. Like the top 6 Premier League clubs, that traditional top 6, have got an insane amount of money that just the top 6 clubs in any other league doesn't have. And then the level of scouting in mid-table is light years ahead of the level of scouting in the mid-table for other leagues. Like a mid-table club, like say right now, mid-table in the Premier League for us is Chelsea, Brentford, Everton, Fulham. Those clubs can comfortably finish top 4 in other leagues. Like Chelsea right now would be a top 4 team in the Bundesliga probably. Fulham could comfortably battle for, let's say, like a 5th place finish in Serie A, which is ridiculous saying, but they probably could right now. Como is 4th right now in Serie A. Como.
Yeah. And they're high scouts on Twitter.
Yeah. They're literally using Twitter scouts. So
shout out my boy Ben. But they're hiring guys from Twitter. That's what I'm saying.
Football is in a very strange place, and it's kind of unfair to the rest of Europe in a way because something's happening where, for whatever reason, the money is ending up in the Premier League. We all know that, yes, Premier League's the best league in the world, but the money now is making it to the point where the football is becoming disproportionate. So La Liga, the quality of La Liga as a product is terrible now. Other than Real Madrid and Barcelona, I'm not trying to watch that. I don't give a toss about Elche versus Rayo Vallecano. Let's be real.
Shout out to Lookman though. Shout out to Lookman. I've been watching Atletico recently.
But other than those teams like Atletico, Barca, Madrid, no one wants to watch a La Liga game. And the same thing is similarly happening in like Bundesliga. Other than Bayern and maybe Dortmund, they're even maybe because these days they've been stripping like crazy. You don't want to watch Bundesliga. Funnily enough, Bayern lost the game that they should have won the other day. But that's besides the point completely. The point is now, like Kevin has said, the Premier League is insanely competitive to the point where Big 6 is becoming an outdated term. I don't think we should even use it anymore because
agreed.
A big six team should not be in a relegation battle. Tottenham right now is figuring out what life in the Championship is going to look like. They're messaging guys like Ilias Chair at QPR. Rah, bro, what's the Championship stadium saying?
Isn't that the brother that like got charged for something?
I don't even know. But
he got charged for like some domestic violence thing or something like that. I can't remember.
I had no clue. I just know his name because sometimes when I watch Championship, I like QPR in it. But right now, Tottenham, Big 6, but they're in a relegation battle. We should just get rid of that term. It needs to go because even Liverpool and Chelsea was showing our ass. It's the only clubs right now, and even United, I don't think they've even like as much as you're doing well, recently you can't even say they deserve that time either.
No, I'm not confident at all.
Yeah, not confidently. Like realistically, right now it's a big two. It's Arsenal and City. That's it. They're the only teams in the last 4 years, 5 years even, that have shown some level of consistency that warrants them having some kind of distinguishing.
The thing is that I
title
can't disregard Liverpool right now because there's only one off season, and it's like Arne Slot being Arne Slot and being like genuinely like real what they went through, Jota and everything. So
Yeah,
I won't discount them.
That's a
Like
variable. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but it's one of these things where, as you were saying, Kevin, like having this top six and stuff. Honestly, every season you just can't really predict it. But even your game against, we can get back to Tottenham in a sec. But the game against Bournemouth and United, what did you think of it? Because you probably looked at it thinking that you can win, but it's going to be a tough game.
The game against Bournemouth confirmed to me that we can't pick Carrick on a full-time basis. If I didn't have hindsight being that we've experienced Ollie, I would still be like, give him the job. But I've experienced Ollie, and I'm sometimes in certain games, I'm just like, Ollie actually did better with what he had at the time compared to what Carrick has like now. Like, I'm not seeing any style of play whatsoever. It's kind of like, pass it to Bruno, and Bruno's trying to make something happen, which, yeah, I would like to sing Bruno's praises, but even none of us are managers, but if one person's causing all this problem, mark him out of the game is won, no? So if that's all Carrick is mustering and telling me I should invest in, then I'm not happy with. But at the same time, Ahmad played so bad that game, man. And then Bumo is scaring me as well. I'm not going to lie to you.
Ahmad played bad all season, I'll be honest. Ever since he made a tweet about Arsenal, your only hope is corner, he's got like 2 goals in the league since.
The game was it was a very weird watch. Like, I watched that game and I was just like, I haven't got no hope, to be honest, for what we're gonna do in the summer, because we need to bolster that team. Do you get what I'm saying? And Bournemouth gave us a game, and they're not afraid of us anymore. And that's links to our point. There's no fear factor for the top 6 anymore. There's no respect no more. Like, every game is a winnable game. Man, like Everton play Chelsea, and I'm seeing Chelsea getting the ball, clearing it. Everton are pinging it back, getting the ball, clearing it. Same thing with Bournemouth. United were clearing that ball, not trying to concede. Like, there's no respect no more. These guys aren't respecting their mates no more. Like, it's actually free for all.
You mentioned that
really well.
You mentioned that Mbeumo hasn't been playing well, but do you feel like he's just not a striker? He's probably better on the wing.
I don't know why Carrick keeps playing him up front, yeah. But my problem with Mbeumo is this, yeah. From the way they play on the pitch, yeah, I feel like he has freedom to roam, because I see him all over the place. Like, he's not fixed. It's only when Sesko comes on, I see him in the fixed striker position, which tells you one of two things. Carrick has said what Ollie used to say, go have fun, which I don't want. I want structure. Or two, they don't respect what he's saying. So either way, I'm not happy with it. Now, the Newcastle game, Mbeumo missed a sitter. Happens to the best of us, happens to the best of them. In the Bournemouth game, yeah, I can't remember a single key thing Mbeumo did. Ironically, I started the season praising Mbeumo, and I think he needs to give me more. Now, I see Cunha as a valuable part of this. I see all of them as valuable. I see Cunha as a very valuable part of this team, because he is destined to get you at least a penalty or a free kick in a dangerous area because of the way he plays. Do you get what I'm saying? So that's kind of the place I'm at, you know what I'm saying? Start Sesko. I don't know why we're benching Sesko. We're not starting Sesko. Like, this guy has shown you can score from nothing. I don't know why we're not playing our striker.
Do you know what I'll say?
To answer that question, go on, Harris.
Yeah. I feel like Denzel will have his answer, but in terms of why he haven't started Sesko, I think it's a case of what I've seen from United games is that when the game gets stretched in the second half, that's when Sesko tends to thrive even more. Whereas when it's like teams have already set up how they're going to play against Man United, it's where, you know, you have your deep line there. And Sesko is obviously better when, you know, the team is a lot more stretched. But for him to adapt to the league, he has to start more games so that, you know, he can understand, okay, this is how I'm going to maneuver and find space, because he's got all the skills. Like, you know, that ugly goal that he scored a few games ago where he barely had space in the box, but he still got a shot off. he can do more of that if he has more of a rhythm. So I think Carrick needs to just get his finger out and just like be, let's just start him and do something.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Denzel. One thing I was going to say, one thing I hate United do is unite. Like what you said is actually a subconscious thing you said, but we all United fans think the same thing. We always have to grow into the game. We never ever hit the ground running. The game always has to be like, okay, like I'll put the United game on, I'll go on my phone and wait for like 20 minutes because by 20 minutes time, I'm expecting the boys to have warmed up. We'd never hit the ground running because in my opinion, put some crosses into the box. If you've had 3 crosses sent into the box in the first 10, 15 minutes, and let's be honest, this guy's not a slouch. There is this myth going around that Sesko's slow. Sesko's not slow. Sesko can give you a good race for his height. 3 box crosses into the box, good crosses. He gets his head to them. He battles the defender, maybe gets there first, and they know what our intention is. Naturally, you've already now made them crowd the box, right? Now, whether we like it or not, it may be harder to score, but if like the amount of balls you're putting into the box, eventually one of them has to go in. If you're a serious team, one of them has to go in. But then if you're playing in boom or trying to play in behind, and let's be honest, most centre-backs in the Premier League are not slouches, and Burmo's not so fast where I think it's a case where his pace can be utilised as a weapon. Do you know what I'm saying? Even the way Mbappe plays in the Liga, most Premier League centre-backs can give him a good race. He'll win them, but they'll give you a good race. So I don't think pace is the way to go. Everyone's fast in Prem.
It's true. I think the thing is, with Seshko, I think he's being integrated in like a more old school way.
Yeah.
Where he comes off the bench, he scores, and that builds confidence for him. Because I think if you look at guys like Walter Mada and Ekatike, who were starting games consistently, they've now, both of them have hit a wall. So I think United are trying to avoid that by having him start all these games. They know it's a hard league. He's not going to be scoring like 5 goals in 4 games. That happens, his confidence drops, and then you lose out on a good player. I think you guys are probably going about it, as much as it's frustrating given the what's the word I'm looking for? Like how dire the situation is in terms of you want to make sure that you finish as strong as possible. You're protecting him for next season as well, because you have to think long term. If you play him every game from the start of the season and he does badly, and everyone's cussing him online, saying, sell this guy, waste of money, whatever, he's just going to stay in the dumps. He's going to be out of form. Whereas if you protect him, he comes off the bench, contributes, and then he builds his way into being a regular starter. It's probably better for him that way, long term.
Yeah, there's a valuable point there as well. But I think ultimately, like, these guys are obviously going to know more than we do. But my thing is that I really love teams which have an understanding of where they're playing. We're still kind of in a situation where it's always a rotation of certain people in certain positions. Whereas I've noticed that teams that have their dedicated players per position often do better because you grow into that position. Do you get what I'm saying? Whereas in Boomer can sometimes be on the right, I've seen him on the left, I've seen him through the middle, and I'm just like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I just know Carrick is not the guy. Like, I'm gonna be one of the people who's gonna say he's not the guy. He's better than Amorim, not to be good the way people think. He's not better than Amorim because of being a manager. He's better than Amorim because they like him. That's the only reason. And I know my United players. They're only playing like this because they like him. Like, they don't want to violate. If they genuinely gave the same respect to Amorim was telling you good things to do. And I prefer the way we play. I could see what we were trying to do. It just wasn't happening. Now, I don't see what we're trying to do. But somehow the ball's in the back of the net. So I just have to contend with what's best for my team at that point. Do you get it?
Yeah, it makes sense. I was saying likability goes a long way in football, because if the players genuinely feel like, when it's all said and done, I really want to play for this manager and I really want to win on the pitch just to make everything he said worthwhile, you get that little extra 5% out of the players. True. Like Kevin saying, even if Carrick isn't even like a tactical genius, just for the fact alone that, guys like Lisandro Martinez have come out with interviews saying how much they're enjoying life under Carrick and all that stuff. It translates on the pitch, even if it doesn't translate in like a clear tactical way. It just, that's football psychology. In it. If the players are happy under the person they're playing for, you will see more effort. Whereas the inverse, you look at Chelsea now, Rafinha's trying to shake the players' hands and they can't even look him in the eyes. They don't want to play for him. Like, they don't care.
Yeah. was gonna say it's a bit. One thing that I want to talk about before we like move on to our next topic, which will be about the England squad very briefly. Kevin, I'll ask you first. Do you think Maguire should get a new contract? I know he's been in good form recently. Then obviously he got caught out with that red card against Bournemouth. And like I said earlier, a lot of people are like, you're only as good as your last game, which I don't agree with, obviously. But we know Maguire's track record over the last few years that he kind of like, does bad, comes back well, does bad, comes back well. Lenny Yoro said that he likes playing alongside him and he hopes that he gets a new contract. But what do you think personally? Because I know the fan base is split on that.
If I were to answer this question, I wanted to sign a new contract, not because of his ability as a player. I wanted to sign a new contract because I don't trust us to replace him well. That's the sad reality of the matter. I don't trust us to replace him well, so just keep the evil we know rather than go and negotiating with a new evil that could be completely worse than what I'm used to. Because I know Maguire on most days will give you a 5.5 or 6 on one football. Do you get it? So I'll take that. Because at the end of the day, it's a case of our main concern this summer is the midfield. That is our main concern. If United do not rectify our midfield this summer, we are delaying this rebuild by another 5+ years. And I'm not joking. We need to turn this midfield because I'm just about happy with our strike force. The defense, I just actually deeped it, No, I'm not happy with the defense at all, actually. Let me figure this properly. Nah, I wouldn't sell Maguire. But our midfield is our priority. And with our stingy as our owners are, they're not going to be able to replace Maguire adequately. So no, keep Maguire. But this midfield, which I think should be a segment for one of our future episodes about what we would want to do in the summer for our clubs, yeah? No, Maguire can't leave. Our club is not set up in a way that will replace him for someone who is better or even at the level of Maguire. We'll just overpay for another English brother for the sake of his English. Like, we'll get that one Everton guy we really wanted a few seasons ago.
Branthwaite.
That's what we would get.
He's actually played well recently, but he's just been unfortunate with injuries, so that's the issue. But yeah, speaking of Branthwaite, who's English again, I got the England squad in front of me, which you both have it too. So Tuchel decided that for these March friendlies or whatever they are before the World Cup, he introduced a 35-man squad, which for him is a case of like, I want to try out as many players as I can before I decide that final World Cup squad. Is there any players that you're excited to see or any players that you're sort of like, I'm not sure about that?
Do you know what I'm happy about? That we've been saying this for years, us Chelsea fans. And it was one of my big criticisms of Gareth Southgate as well. Tomori finally got a call-up.
Yes.
About time. He's done well with Milan.
Yeah, he was doing amazingly in Serie A for years. And Gareth Southgate, being the bum that he was, just didn't have the knowledge to be like, you know what? Let me look at what's happening over there in Serie A. It made no sense that Tomori didn't go to that Euros or the last World Cup. But thankfully, Tuchel actually has eyes and watches other leagues beyond the Premier League. And obviously the big names in La Liga, and has called Tomori up. So I'm happy to see him get a call up.
Kevin, any names for you that you've seen?
I have one question.
Why
is Calvert-Lewin here?
I asked that too, don't worry. When I saw that,
why is Welbeck not here?
Calvert-Lewin had that insanity run where he was doing best my FPL, and then he just decided, you know what, I've done my bit. That's it.
Why is Welbeck not here? If we're talking about Calvert-Lewin, why is Welbeck not here?
Welbeck 100% deserves that spot over Calvert-Lewin. I agree with that.
Across the entire season too. I don't understand it either. Because the thing is that, you can knock the ball long to Calvert-Lewin and whatnot, but he's not someone that is silky like that or can, I don't know. He's a very patchy player, put it that way.
And we're speaking about it before, but why 5 keepers?
I think he wants to sort of like watch all of them and see what they're all capable of. But I think the worst part was when I read in The Athletic about how Jason Still might be coming as a 4th goalkeeper, a guy with 2 Premier League appearances in the last 2 years, and I think he's got like 8 appearances in all competitions in the last however many years.
He's a personality hire.
Yeah, personality hire. Exactly. That's scary. The last time he ever played regularly was, you know, when De Zerbi was in Brighton and when Rob Sanchez was about to go to Chelsea.
Hmm?
Because of De Zerbi was like, you know how De Zerbi is, he was a bit of a character. He was like, I prefer Jason Steele on the ball compared to Rob Sanchez. So Rob, you're sitting on the bench. He didn't like that. He ended up leaving it anyways, which he always was going to leave, but that accelerated it anyways. So yeah, Jason Steele played a little bit until Verbruggen came. But since Verbruggen came, now it's like he's just happy warming the bench. Like you said, being third choice keeper is the best job in the world. You said it perfectly.
Lovely.
What do you guys think about Trent Alexander-Arnold not being called up?
Tuchel's a joker.
I think that he's stupid to do it, but I think the season he's had has been a rough start to Real Madrid life. But Alexander-Arnold is, you know, we spoke last episode about the nail that sticks out. Trent doesn't fit the typical English mold, which is exactly why he needs to come. Because we're playing against bad boys. We all think we're the big bad boys in England, yeah? But we're playing against different favela football. We're playing against Paris football here, Italian football here. Well, I don't think Italy made it. But we're playing against different flair. So you need guys which are technically gifted to mesh, to show the different flavor of football. Everyone here is nothing but grit, hard work, and shouting. That's that whole lineup. Whole lineup is grit.
It's actually true.
Like, why is Henderson there? Why is Henderson there?
But you listen, Henderson, yeah, this is what I hate about it. I personally am not a proponent of international football for a number of reasons, yeah. Especially stuff like this. I feel like outside of the major tournaments, it's a complete waste of time. But the thing is, the squad selection is so inconsistent because we're asking questions like, why didn't Welbeck get called up? Bro, why is Henderson there?
Alex Scott made the last squad. Henderson was not in the last squad, and now they did a switcheroo.
And that, do you know what I'm saying?
Alex Scott got man of the match against Man United. You remember that beautiful performance that was?
Like, Alex Scott this season has been amazing. He's been a top 10 midfielder in the Prem this season. He's not there. But then it's like it's weird that they have this weird like unspoken rule of some players are ready-made players that are always going to be on that plane regardless of what's happening. Like for a while, that was Maguire. Maguire was going to be on that plane regardless of what rubbish is happening at Man United because we all know what he does for England. Yeah. I feel like Henderson is now falling into that category of players where we know he's at the twilight of his career. This guy is not going to play a full 90, but it's Henderson. So let's just bring him anyway because he has that experience and he's been through the tournaments and stuff. He might not play, but he can tell the younger players, okay, the pressure you're feeling, breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. I don't care about that. That's a space wasted, in my opinion. We're trying to win the tournament. So certain guys like that, you can afford to leave them behind, in my opinion, because you've got guys, as much as a young team, Bellingham, Saka, Palmer, they were at that last Euros. They know that disappointment already. They've got the experience. This is not their first rodeo, so it doesn't make sense to me.
Phil Foden still made it as well.
Do you know what I'm saying? It's inconsistent. The reasoning, I would love for Tuchel to sit down and explain his selection process. Because some names, you look at it and say, okay, yeah, that makes sense. And then other names, like, huh? Like, why are you here?
So out of this, what's your starting lineup out of this? What's your starting lineup out of this?
I would say Pickford would start in goal.
Of course.
Yeah.
My right back, I would say...
That's what I'm saying. Is this guy? He's high.
I would say.
Is Skelly injured? Is Lewis Skelly injured?
No, he just doesn't play enough for Arsenal.
Oh.
I would play Livramento right back.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then for my centre back pairing, I would play Stones and Gay. And at left back, I would play Lewis Hall.
Mm-hmm.
If we're doing a 4-2-3-1,
I play O'Reilly at left back. But anyways,
yeah.
It depends who we're playing. If we want defensive stability, I'll go Lewis Hall. If we want that attacking edge, then yeah, I'd play O'Reilly. But then midfield pairing, I would go Anderson. And then I would say, not Anderson. I would say Rice and Wharton as the two.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the 10, I would have Palmer. And then on the wings, I'd have Saka right wing, left wing Gordon, up top Kane. I think that's
This
a
is
good
where I
11.
disagree.
Huh?
This is where I differ to you. I'd go Rice, Anderson, Bellingham in the 10, but Bellingham will not start in the 10. It will be sadly Morgan Rogers. If it's not going to be Bellingham, then yeah, I would start Palmer, because the thing is, Rogers has tailed off recently, but no one wants to talk about it.
I'm having Rashford on the left.
Yeah, same. Rashford's on my left as well.
Oh, I got Rashford there. Yeah. Swap him for Gordon, actually. Forgot he's there. Yeah.
Rashford's not playing recently though either. That's the thing.
Yeah, but it's Rashford though. You know what it's going to give you for England. We don't even
know it's true. Exactly.
Am I ugly for putting Bowen on the right wing?
Yes.
Jared Bowen.
Because
you know what? I hear it.
He's a good player, but
he is a get it out the mud winger. Saka is too clean. I said he's too clean.
No, it's true.
I hate you, look, man.
Bowen can bring his grittiness to when we're playing against the Favela boys. I mean,
I hear it. I can't like Kevin. I hear it.
Yeah,
you need. I'll say about it. I will stay on this hill. You need rough around the edges ballers. Rough around the edges ballers. Do you know what I mean? But nah, regardless,
come off the bench. I don't mind.
All this for a semi-final finish, quarter-final finish.
Quarter-final.
Oh, facts. They're not getting to semis. I'm going to make a prediction now. England's going to lose in the quarterfinals to Spain.
I was thinking that.
Something like that.
England loses in the quarterfinals to Spain. Lamine Yamal drags his nuts on the entire backline's forehead.
Nico Williams scores and they dance together.
Saka gets stubbed off for Bowen.
Calm down.
Bowen. Saka limp. Don't forget the Saka limp.
Yeah.
Don't do this. You're playing Nigerian brother. Cole Palmer will be turning up late because he's linking up Ghana. But don't worry.
That's fine, man. Listen.
Tell you, they're gonna get slapped up by Spain for sure. Like Spain or France, but it's very much in England fashion to get done by a dark horse of the tournament, whether that be like a Croatia again.
Word. In fact, on the topic of the World Cup, who do you guys think will win the World Cup?
Portugal.
France. You're saying Portugal's a Ronaldo, man.
Ronaldo win this World Cup. I don't care. Ronaldo win this World Cup. I've manifested it.
You're watching too much speed.
Hey, I can't lie. I would love a Portugal World Cup win, bro. I would love it.
It's not Portugal World Cup win, yeah, so that we can argue this debate until our graves. Ronaldo makes the great to the end of time. To the end of time.
Yeah. I need that Ronaldo World Cup trophy pick, bro.
Trust me, bro.
I need that.
Trust me.
I need that because guys are saying the debate is over. It takes one World Cup for that debate to come back on the table, bro.
That debate never left. That World Cup was rigged. I've always been saying it. Before I even left the building, I already had my defensive arguments ready already.
I know that if Kevin got a Ronaldo World Cup pick, he'll stick it all over his bedroom, even his car, if he has to. Don't tell me
a Ronaldo World Cup is not good. Look, Messi won the World Cup. Look at the world now.
You're gonna change your number plate and put CR7 on it. I know how you are.
Messi won that rigged World Cup. Look at the world now. Look at the world now. It wasn't part of God's plan, that World Cup. I'm telling you.
Hey.
It was manufactured by humans. So now Ronaldo needs to bring balance back. And I'm telling you, the world will come back to normal.
What balance? The same Ronaldo that shakes hands with Donald Trump is what you want balance with.
How do you know he's happy shaking his hand?
Bro, did you not see the whole, what's it called, Inter Miami team standing behind Trump when he's doing his little speech? That don't mean nothing, man.
They're all evil, man. We move. They're all evil.
Who man got?
I've got France.
I think to win the World Cup. France is a good shot, but I don't think it's going to be them, you know.
Have you seen that new tune that's coming? Dembele Cherki, Dembele Cherki.
Okay, I think the final.
They're winning that.
I think the final will be France versus Spain. I think that'll be the final.
Yeah.
And I think third place will be a surprising dark horse finish. I don't think it'll be a team that we expect. I think third place will be
like Norway or something.
Something random, yeah.
When you got Odegaard as the attacking midfield, it's not happening. Let's be
we're here watching Morocco or World Cup though.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah. I was gonna say I think Senegal will reach the quarters.
Senegal will go far. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they'll reach the quarters. I think they'll shock some people, and they'll reach the quarters.
Who will do badly, like out of the big nations? I think Brazil will.
Brazil's juice is spilled down the drain, bro. There's no juice left. Like that team is so rubbed out. It's
Germany.
They're not taking Neymar.
No Neymar. Like I can't even name you 11 Brazil. I can't tell you Brazil starting 11 right now.
No, because that's a scary.
That's how dire the situation is. When what the international football comes, their starting centre back pairing is that what Marquinhos and Gleison Bremer or something.
No, it's not. It's Gabriel, to be fair. Gabriel and
it should be Gabriel now, yeah, of course, in recent times.
And Marquinhos. But before it was that, yeah.
Yeah, like it stinks. Their midfield is probably going to be what? Guimaraes
and Casemiro,
and maybe Joelinton.
That's scary. We must have forgotten someone.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, there's no balance. Like, what is that?
Cunha probably gets in somewhere, but that's like no disrespect to Cunha. Cunha's a great player, but Cunha in the prime Brazil is not getting in.
The Neymar's not going, is he? They're not taking him, is he?
Apparently Ancelotti's a fool, man.
Yeah,
I hate Ancelotti already.
No, but the guy can't bend his knees, bro.
No, but Neymar.
Nah, let's have mercy. He can't kill himself for the sport, bro.
But Neymar wants to kill himself for the sport.
He can't bend his knees. No, I can't do that to him, bro.
Bro, Neymar's ready to die for Brazil, bro.
Do you not see? Have you not seen the video of the physiotherapy he has to do before and after every game?
Yeah, one last dance when I need it.
From when that first 6 figure enter my account, I'll just peak my life. I said, why am I stressing myself?
Do you know that when Henry came back to Arsenal on his last legs? We need that at the World Cup for Neymar.
Nah, bro, that was actually so funny. Even for me, even when Henry scored that goal, from his celebration, I knew he was tired. I knew he was tired. But now, another nation that will do bad, that's a big nation, Germany. Now,
Germany has been, talk on that, Kevin.
Germany, pants, bro. I don't understand, bro. Like, I don't know how we've fallen from grace. Every team I support has just fallen from, bar Nigeria, they've always been dead, have fallen from grace. And Germany, we have bright names, but we just don't make it mesh in the international stage. I always used to think that because Neuer used to hold us hostage. Every tournament Neuer started. What could Ter Stegen do to start? You get it? But now, Neuer's not the keeper no more. So, who knows? I don't think
Ter Stegen's not even good. So it's like, what can you do? You're gone.
For a long time now, Germany has not had a good striker.
Thank you.
Like in the Euros, you man were playing full crook.
No, full crook can be good sometimes.
Like, yeah, but he should not be starting for you, bro.
Full crook, that chick tooth, he's reckless. I love him.
He's a big player, bro. That guy should not be starting. But now you've got guys like Walter Mada, who you would expect is probably going to start in the number 9 and do like a false 9 sort of thing. But
and yeah, Jonathan Burkhardt.
Say that again?
Yeah, Jonathan Burkhardt in the Bundesliga. I can't remember who he plays for again, but
then don't forget our midfield is good though, because Metra is really good.
Yeah, I like him, man.
Yeah, Felix Metra is good. Yeah.
Shout him out, man. Iba boy.
You know what I mean?
So you've got a good midfield. Musiala, you mentioned Metra. You've still got guys like Conrad Lima. You've got Conrad Lima. You've got who's the young guy?
Leonard Carl. He's in the attack.
Leonard Carl. You've got Kimmich, who's probably reaching.
We're losing in the first knockout stage. I'm telling you, we're losing the first knockout stage.
So you think Germany doesn't get past the round of 16?
You need a striker. Like, you need a striker to win World Cup. Every World Cup I've seen thus far, they've all had good strikers.
I need to ask again. When did you move out of Germany? I keep forgetting.
2005.
Oh, so you had 75 years. Mm-hmm. And I know more German than you. That's peak.
Hey, my man. Talk about Congo. Let's talk about Congo. Hey, my man.
Congo is getting grouped. We've discussed this multiple times, but Congo is getting grouped.
At least we're in the groups.
You don't get a participation medal, bro.
You won't have 2 consecutive participation medals, so it's calm.
That's fine, but Congo doesn't get more than 1 point, bro. We said this already.
Look at you, no shame.
In your group had who was in your group again?
Uzbekistan.
It's not decided yet. It's still qualifying. So.
Yeah, but it's Jamaica, so it's not deep. So Uzbekistan.
The Reggae Boys is better than Congo, bro.
Sorry?
The Reggae Boys is better than Congo.
Have shame, man. They got Steve McLaren sacked.
The Reggae Boys is a better team than Congo.
Steve McLaren signed off by saying one love. That's worse than when King Charles came and said Niger don't carry last.
That actually pissed me off. And side note, yeah, for the Nigerians that are gassed about that showing, you have to take a long, hard look at yourself. But I'll talk. Nah, man, they have plunged our nation into the dumps, and you're celebrating because of small Nigerian.
A man said a jollof and tea party, and these are gas. That even makes sense in your head. Who drinks tea with jollof rice, bro? What a horrible combination.
Tea and peach.
We're not even. Listen, this is the football pod, bro. We're not even going to go into politics, man. Because if I go into that, my head will be here for 3 hours.
That Earl Grey will be having a bit of pepper soup in it. Hey,
what are we doing, bro? It's a disgrace.
No, but I'm saying back to World Cup, man. Uzbekistan's star boy is Kusanov. Like, let's be so real.
Yeah, who's your star boy?
Yeah, who's your star? Chancel and Bemba, you know.
Siddiqui. At Sunderland is calm.
The peak of Uzbekistan is Man City. The peak of you is Sunderland. I need to understand.
One player. Name me 5 Uzbekistan players.
You name me 5 Congolese players of value.
Yeah. You're
right back, can't cross.
Can't cross, can't defend.
Can't defend. All you can do that scoop slide tackle. That's all you can do.
No, but this is the issue. You can't name 5 Uzbek players.
I don't have to name them. They're ballers.
That's fine though, because it's Uzbekistan, isn't it? Like that's not a football nation. Most African countries are supposed to be a footballing nation because we all kick. That's already
3 points. That's 3 points. The rest we won't get points, but that's 3 points.
Let's not forget that the World Cup is where the unknown people shine. By the way.
Facts. Exactly. So you're all underestimating Congo. Let's see.
No.
You're underestimating Uzbekistan, bro. You're saying you can't name their ballers. What if after this World Cup, everyone's trying to buy an Uzbek player, bro? After they flog you guys.
No, but they're the sort of team that Kevin plays them to play his cousin. Literally. And I'm quite worse than you said before.
Is that your first game?
I don't know if that would be our first game. That's if we qualify, but yeah.
You haven't qualified yet?
I think we have to play the intercontinental game against Jamaica, win that way in the World Cup.
So
they're talking like they already made it. You see what the issue is?
They were still with you.
Wait, what am I hearing? You're not even qualified.
Bro.
Let me find out Jamaica beat you. I swear to God, you ain't living it down.
No, but here's the thing.
Jamaica beat Congo, Caris. You can never show your face here again.
Ever.
Because this guy's talking about, when we beat Uzbekistan, you haven't faced the Reggae Boys, bro.
Because Leon Bailey's better than Siddiqui.
He doesn't even perform for Jamaica. That's the thing.
After
any Jamaican, he doesn't perform for them. So it's
let Mason Greenwood declare for Jamaica is over.
He hasn't declared, so it's calm.
Let him declare for Jamaica.
He's a sick man. Oh. Anyway, Denzel, do you want to close it out?
Yes, right. That's been another great episode of the Couchside Coaches. We've discussed the turmoil of Chelsea, Arsenal taking another L in the League Cup. Guys, thank you for joining us in an amazing episode. Please make sure to follow us on X, Instagram, YouTube, everywhere, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, at the Couchside Coaches. We go by that name. Be tuned for next week's episode as well. Thank you.